Hi, today I'd like to show you a Georgian newspaper of 1811. So this one is Saturday, June the 15th, and it is the Edinburgh Evening Courant. Now, Courant is French for current, so up to date. So it's like giving you the news, a French word. So mainly for the upper classes who spoke a bit of French and understood the name. It has the tax mark there, half a penny. They were taxed, and then these pennies were stuck on there like that. Quite a nice little thing. And then number. And then we got the items in it. So you got Edinburgh races. So there's lots of horse racing going on at that time. And then got just arrived. And they're sort of giving you Mrs. Sands, from the late decease of her husband, with the utmost respect, solicits the protection and countenance of the nobility, gentry and public of Edinburgh, Leith and their vicinity, to her wonderful and unusual museum of the productions of nature and art obtained from all parts of the globe, consisting of 4,000 curiosities. Also, those grand productions of nature, the unicorns, male and female, from Greenland Sea, with spots and an extensive variety of figures and numerous to mention. Admittance 1 shilling. Tickets to be had at the museum, open from 11 to forenoon till 10 at night. It requests that no person will touch the figures. No dogs omitted. Then to be sold, a four-wheeled chaise on its first wheels, and harness complete with a pair of horses to drive with a saddle, all in good condition and mounted with plated work, and property of a gentleman who has no further use of them. For particular applies to Mrs. John Leithmonth, Junior and Co., Princes Street. Then we've got sort of sale of houses, sale of horses. Then down here we've got some ships going off in all directions. Then we've got a card to inform the medical gentleman and the public in general that he has moved from the late residence in Portobello to number 15 St James's Square, Edinburgh, where he continues to make trusses for every description of rupture on the most approved principles, also machines for the distorted and crooked spine, and bandages for all sorts of lameness where medical assistance is necessary, ladies' backboards, shoulder braces, NB respectable references will be given if required. Then you've got other things about hotels. If you'd like to stop and read these, we've got the one about chair manufacturing. We've got sale of perfumery, jewellery, trinkets, Tunbridge ware, gloves, dressing boxes. Now there's have honour of announcing new furniture. So these are the sort of things that these people would have been looking at at the time of the Napoleonic Wars. About stays. Very goods of for sale as a whole has been selected by himself, and imitation shawls, plaids. Is that plaids? Plaids. Silk and cotton, cambric muslin, Bank of Scotland. Highland Society of Scotland, Annual General Meeting, Board of Education for Young Ladies, that she's had the patronage. There's a notice, there's a small trunk was carried away by mistake. A young man wants a situation. For an accountant. For farming. Contractors for building a bridge over the North Esk. Estimates wanted for another work building. So these are quite interesting about what was going on at this period, some just over 200 years ago. And small pianofortes. There's some wine. Danish barley and rye. Dutch flax. Irish yarn. Lisbon salt for sale. Norway logs for sale. The Edinburgh Quarterly. Review magazine. Mary Queen of Scots. So these are books that are coming out. Treatise on swine. So these are with the insurance company. Some bits to do with public sale of fur timber. Then you have on the next page you have more things like the stock market, stock of the Bank of England, Bank of Scotland, because this is a Scottish newspaper. Public sale of leather and oil. Studs for hunters and hacks for sale. Deaf and Dumb Institution. The 19th century was becoming a big thing for these sort of benevolent societies for the poor and for the blind and that sort of thing that was going on. And then we've got a list of donation subscriptions there. Who's giving what? And then farm. And then you've got loads of things for sale. If people are interested, please give me a comment and I'll do some more and bankrupts. Then the maritime list. If people are interested in these sort of things, I can do lots of these. I've got loads of these things. They're quite interesting because it does show you what was going on at that period. So you can stop and read more on this about the packets. Imperial Parliament, Irish drawback bill, what was going on in the House of Commons. And then there's loads of things like Spanish papers. Then it was things like tithes in Ireland. And then it goes to stuff about Spanish papers. Then we've got Lisbon papers coming in there. Then we've got things from the court. So you've got the Edinburgh Saturday, the report of His Majesty's State at Windsor Castle on Tuesday was that the King is better and had a good night. The King had suffered a number of mental illnesses. This is George III. He would die in a few years' time in 1820, but he did have quite a few problems with his mental health, and his son became regent for a while. And then we got some things about the British in the peninsula. And this was where Napoleon, not Napoleon, but Wellington was. So it gives you an idea of, they've got the probability that Napoleon has sent for them, as well as Ney, to employ them in the war with Russia. So again, you give them loads of information about this. If anybody's really interested, I can always do lots of more, because there's loads of this sort of stuff. And then we've got some more sales of things like gold watches. Oh, this is lost. Gold watch was lost. Musical salon. And we've got some houses for sale. And then on the back, we've got baptism missionary in India. India was being taken over slowly by the British, or had been by this time. Then we got this is a park that's going to be taken over, I believe, a property. Got some more sales of land along here. So I hope that was of some value, and for you to see what they were thinking about. Valuable coal and other materials properties for sale. What they were thinking about at this period and what they had in their papers at this period. This is Solomon's detergent ointment. And these are all the sort of perfumes sold to different people. Printed and published by Ramsay and Son, current offices, High Street, Edinburgh. Price 4 shillings 10 pence per annum. Now these have got, as you can see, there's lines down the back of this crease at the side. This is where they were fixed into, all these were put into books. They were bound into books after they'd been read. And then when people were nowadays they just split up the books into individual pages, but they have been made into books. All these, that's how they survived all this time, and then they were taken out of the books. Sometimes you get on this side, you get some of the bit of the backing of the book fixed in there. So that's how these were preserved for so long. I hope that was of some interest. Please give it a thumbs up, a like, and I'll come back to you soon with some more information about coins, stamps, and other items of history. Okay, thank you. Bye.